Hello, year three. Hope you're all keeping well, and welcome back to another writing lesson where we are going to be continuing your fantastic diary entries as Bill and his adventures at school with his pretty pink frock with the fiddly shell buttons, which you have all done a really great job with. So very excited to get stuck into our writing today. So as always, we are going to start with our do now. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. And you can find this worksheet on your home learning worksheet for the day. You don't need to have the worksheet printed out, so do not worry. Just number your answers and just write the word that you would choose, because your do now today is to choose which adjective makes the most sense, but also which is the most powerful. I've tried hard here to include some adjectives that make or pack a bit more of a punch than the ones that we might usually go for. So go through those and choose the adjective that you would go for, and I am going to go through the answers now, so make sure that you pause the video so you don't hear me talking through before you are ready. So number one, so again you can pause the video and check your answers back because I have highlighted them for you, or you can listen to me go through them. So number one, the chatty class made such a racket as they walked across the hall. Number two, he was absolutely famished, meaning he was so hungry, so he chomped down on his flavoursome lunch. The jolly clown whizzed around the stage performing wacky tricks. Now, I know, because this happened last year with my previous class, some of you may have gone for the fearless clown and daring trick, so I will accept that. Number four, the majestic queen visited the village to greet her subjects. Majestic means really grand and royal. Number five, the ferocious lion stalked his prey sneakily on the plains of the boiling African savannah. Number six, the spindly. Spindly means really thin and kind of crooked looking. Trees swayed in the blustery wind. If you went for fast wind, I can see why, but blustery is usually the word that we use associated with wind. So that's what you would use if you were trying to describe some really strong gales of wind. Number seven, the heavy rain hammered on the windows during the wild storm. Hopefully nobody went for wet storm, because it's pretty obvious that a storm would be wet. You would be expecting rain, so probably not the most powerful adjective you could have chosen. But again, I understand why. Number eight, the beautiful rainbow astounded Samuel because it looks so majestic. Now, again, I appreciate some of you might have gone for lovely and nice, which I will accept, but I personally beautiful and majestic sounded a bit more powerful. Number nine, the classroom was an awful mess as there had been no time to tidy up after break. No point saying messy mess because that doesn't add any more detail. And number 10, all night long, the party guests danced to the joyful music. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the kind of sentences we're hoping to see in your writing, using really powerful adjectives, throwing in some adverbs of manner in there, using conjunctions so that your sentences flow and they're a bit more detailed. So looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with in your diary entries. So now we're going to go through a quick recap of the features of a diary. So hopefully you remember from our previous week's work, I am going to read out and leave a pause for you to fill in the gap. So we know diaries are written in the past tense. They are accounts of things that have already happened, memorable events or moments that you want to look back on. Number two, they are written in the, I just realised I've got it on my screen, written in the first person. Very well done. So you're using words such as I, me, we. They start with Dear Diary, and you can also date them. And they use what type of language? Informal, chatty language, like you are talking to the diary as it is a friend. And lots of you have been doing a great job with that because you've been adding in rhetorical questions, asking your diary, can you believe that? You'll never guess what happened, diary, and addressing it as diary. So it's like you're having a conversation, or a one-sided conversation. So I'm going to recap now where we are in the story, because you have already written about him waking up as a girl and on his way to school. So actually now we are on number 6. So he's got to school and he has assembly, and the teacher asks the boys and not the girls to carry the table, which makes him feel very annoyed and quite indignant, meaning he doesn't think it's fair. And why is it not fair? Because it's unfair to think that boys are stronger than girls, of course. And then number 7, he's in class and then he gets told off for his poor handwriting, which he can't really understand, especially because the boy next to him, his handwriting is even worse. But then Bill and we as readers start to realise it's because the teacher thinks he's a girl and therefore must think that girls should have neater handwriting. So she's going easier on the boys, which absolutely is not fair and is not something that you should expect from us teachers in year 3. Then number 8, they read the play, and it is the play Rapunzel, the girl locked in the tower with the very long hair, and Bill doesn't have any proper lines and he realises he's only been asked to read as Rapunzel because they think he's a girl. Number 9, he has the infamous run-in with Martin and the football and trades it for the 1p chew, which ends up being quite a disappointing trade. Then number 10, they have the pink paint incident in class. And then 11, hopefully all classes now have read up to this point. He is in the dilemma of which toilet he should use. Should he use the girls? Should he use the boys? He's not quite sure. So today we'll be changing the 3rd paragraph in our diary entry, which is the first noteworthy event of the day. So you can either write about the assembly, you can either write about the handwriting incident, or you can write about the paint incident. But the only thing I would say is if you write about the paint incident, you may have to make up another incident for Bill tomorrow. I will say, if you want to have some creative license and perhaps add in your own event of something that could have happened to Bill, then you absolutely can, as long as you stick to writing as Bill, as Bill, and he's experiencing the day as a girl. So if you wanted there to be, I don't know, a school play and he is cast as the lead, but the lead is a female role, absolutely do that. So looking forward to seeing what ideas you might come up with. So I've got my box up here and I have included that on your home learning worksheet, but do not worry, as always, if you do not have the worksheet to hand or printer, you can just write some notes out for yourself. So there are 3 sections we are going to write today. We are going to write about the first big thing that happens to Bill. So we need to have a build up to the main event, what that main event was, and then how Bill feels afterwards. So we are going to focus on show, not tell, which you all did a amazing job with last week, so really excited to see what you're going to do to show how cross Bill is feeling. So I've written a few notes here to help me with my writing. So I have chosen the handwriting incident, and I'm really going to show that Bill is feeling very indignant. So indignant means he's finding it's really unfair and he's really frustrated. So my show don't tell is going to be clenched fists and he's going to grit his teeth. So as always, I'm going to give you an idea of how I would write my diary entry. So take some time now to write your notes and then press pause and press play when you are ready to see what I have. So I'm just going to swap my video around. Nope, that's not really there. Okay, let that focus. Okie doke, so you can see here I've got my build up, main event, and the feelings afterwards, and I've made a note here to include show, don't tell. So my build up, I'm just going to give a few thoughts as to how Bill is feeling in this moment. So he's going to talk to his diary. I couldn't understand. Can you see that? Yeah, I couldn't understand. And really try with your handwriting, guys, because we really want to give pen licenses when we come back, hopefully before too long. So if you want a pen license, get practicing with that handwriting. I couldn't understand it. No one seemed at all. Can you see the end there? Yep, seemed at all surprised at my, what's another word for change? More powerful word for change. Transformation. I couldn't understand it. No one seems to be surprised at my transformation. Okay, remember, what do I do when I write a sentence? I look back on it. So I could, oh, no. Oh, you lucky duck. I didn't know there. I bet you noticed that before I did. I couldn't understand it. No one seemed at all surprised at my transformation. Was I in a dream diary? So again, I'm going to ask my diary a question to make it sound like I'm talking to it. Was I in a dream. E cup of tea. Diary. And if I've asked a question, I know I don't end with a full stop. I end with a question mark. Was I in a dream diary? Well, wait until you hear this. If or anyone else, wait until you hear with your ear, so I need EAR, hear this. Okay, I couldn't understand it. No one seemed at all surprised at my transformation. Was I in a dream diary? Well, wait until you hear this. Okay, so now I can talk about the main event. I remember, if I look back at my plan, I said I was going to write about the handwriting incident. So I'm going to go straight into it. My terrible, I'm going to be quite mean here, using a noun phrase. My terrible teacher told me off for having poor handwriting. Two exclamation marks there to show that he's feeling really cross about this. And then I'm going to show that I'm feeling really annoyed because the person next to me didn't have nice handwriting either, and it was the boy, so it wasn't as bad. It wasn't, contraction there because I've dropped the O, it wasn't even as bad as the boy next to me. However, I've used what kind of word there is however. It's a conjunction. It wasn't even as bad as the boy next to me. However, she let him off. ... all because he was a boy. My terrible teacher told me off for having poor handwriting. It wasn't even as bad as the boy next to me. However, she let him off, all because he was a boy. So now, I've got to remember to use show, don't tell. Good thing I used that little note there. So I think I'm going to use my show, don't tell in my feelings after. So I remember in my plan, I wrote that I was going to clench my fists and grit my teeth. I had to, can you see that stuff? Yep, I had to clench my fists and grit my teeth. And I think to really show that I'm cross, I'm going to, it's gone a bit skew there, do a grrr with a ... So let's read that together now and see how that looks. I'm finding it hard to get everything fit in today. So my build-up. I couldn't understand it. No one seemed at all surprised at my transformation. Was I in a dream diary? Well, wait until you hear this. My terrible teacher told me off for having poor handwriting. It wasn't even as bad as the boy next to me. However, she let him off, all because he was a boy. I had to clench my fists and grit my teeth. Grr. I think here I've got some space. I might add in a little bit more and just say, why should boys, and I remembered my OU lucky duck, why should boys and girls be any different? I wonder if you can remember how many F's in different. I hope you said two. Different. And I'm asking another rhetorical question there. Why should boys and girls be any different? It's not fair. It's not fair. That's not fair. Lovely. So I've really got across there that he's not at all happy. And if I was to go in with my trusty pink highlighter to show that I have used show, don't tell, I could highlight, I had to clench my fists and grit my teeth, because that's showing that I'm angry without having to say so. If I was feeling really like I wanted to challenge myself, sorry for the pause there. I could also go and highlight anything else that I was really proud of, because this is a big write. So I might go, and I've used a contraction there, and that's really year 3 skills. I'm happy with that. I like that I've used a question there. My terrible teacher is a, oh, got a monkey. My terrible teacher is an expanded noun phrase. Oh, another contraction. My conjunction that I was very proud of over there. Another contraction. So you can see there's so many things that you can put into your writing, even if it's not the exact focus of the day. Definitely put it in, because you guys are so great at doing that. So there is my diary entry for the day. Make sure that you remember to include show don't tell, and as always, we are really excited to see what you guys come up with. You are impressing us so much at home. Keep it up.